efficacy numbers, they're a little bit hard to compare between each other. For instance, Johnson & Johnson did their studies here in the United States, North America, but also in South Africa and Brazil, and there's a little bit difference of penetration and variants and such.
Dr. Ohl says a vaccine needs to do two main things. First, protect people from illness, which all three do. And second, it needs to reduce transmission of the virus, something Johnson & Johnson's has been proven to do. He adds J&J's vaccine only takes one dose, meaning more people can get it faster. And people are showing fewer side effects like fever and soreness than they are with the other two shots.
And so I think that parsing it out and trying to shop around for a vaccine doesn't make much sense. And the bottom line is get the vaccine that you can when you can.
Dr. Ohl doesn't think we'll have our choice of vaccine manufacturer, and like all other experts, he says all three options are good. He's already received both doses of a COVID vaccine as a frontline healthcare worker, but he says if he hadn't already been vaccinated, he would not hesitate to get Johnson & Johnson shot.
I'm tracking an encouraging trend related to one of our state's coronavirus metrics. This is the percentage of tests coming back positive. The latest number, 5.5%. Now, this continues the trend we saw last week of numbers hovering around 5%, which is the state's goal. At 3 points over the past week, we dipped below that 5% goal. That's great news, considering before last week we couldn't buy a percent positive that low. It's a big improvement from the 10% and up days that we saw just about a month ago.
Well, President Joe Biden's top health officials are saying that even though coronavirus cases, they are going on the decrease, now is not the time to become complacent about the virus. Yeah, you can say that twice. That even with the approval of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, there is still a lot of work to be done to make sure that every American gets the shot.
We're focused on execution, and that includes the important work of ensuring that we continue to increase overall vaccine supply, increase the number of vaccinators, and increase the number of places Americans can get vaccinated.
And today, the Senate met to discuss President Biden's $1.9 trillion COVID relief package. They're hoping to bring the COVID relief plan to the floor to a vote on Wednesday or Thursday so that President Biden can sign that into law by March 14th, when expanded unemployment benefits will expire.
Let's take a look at the other headlines this afternoon with your 4 to 5 roundup. Nearly 3 million Americans are not getting the second dose of the COVID vaccine on time. A spokeswoman for the CDC said that a portion of the recent slowdown in getting both first doses and second doses administered has been due to the bad weather across the country. But a lack of vaccine doses for hospital systems is also a big contributor. Many hospitals were instructed to use every dose they had for first shots and that more doses would be coming. But in the past few weeks, some states are now using the latest shipments to move vaccines to pharmacies or mass vaccination locations. While vaccine distribution is starting to ramp up, there is a new concerning drop in COVID testing across the country. Right now, the U.S. averages 1.4 million tests a day. That's down from the high of 1.9 million in mid-January. Less testing could slow down our ability to track outbreaks of the virus. One of the biggest reasons for a drop in testing is as states get more vaccines, they're shifting mass testing sites to mass vaccine sites. And Garth Brooks fans in North Carolina will have to wait a few more months to see him live in concert. His concert that was originally scheduled for April 10th in Charlotte has now been moved to September 25th. All tickets will be honored. This will be Brooks' only stop in the Carolinas on his stadium tour.
All right, weather-wise across the Triad, big win yesterday. We got to 71 degrees. We had some sunshine, but of course, today is a much different story in the weather department. Clouds, we had a pretty healthy soaking of rain early on this morning, and then we're kind of left with these clouds as we've gone throughout the afternoon. You can see the sunshine trying to get through in High Point. It will clear out slowly but surely as we go through the overnight hours. We're stuck in the 50s right now. Not a lot going on the radar, just a few sprinkles across the radar. This is actually kind of a fooling image. A lot of this isn't reaching the ground. It's higher up in the levels of the atmosphere. Temperature-wise, we're stuck in the mid-50s right now. And actually, we're not going to get any warmer today. In fact, our high temperature for the day came while you were probably sleeping around 2 o'clock. We were still in the mid-60s, but once that rain started to arrive around daybreak, our temperatures really fell back to the upper 50s, and that's where we've been stuck for a good portion of the afternoon. As we go through in time on Futurecast, you can see slowly but surely we clear some of those clouds out tonight. We are going to bring the sunshine back for your Tuesday. It's not going to be an all sunny day. There will still be a few clouds around, but we will see the sunshine. And tonight, as temperatures fall, we will start to clear out. We're going back to the mid-30s tonight. So where we've been warm the last couple days and couple nights, we are going for a cold night of weather. We will stay above freezing though tonight. There's your planner for Tuesday. It's nice. 30s in the morning. You'll need the jacket. And then it's still a little bit cool in the afternoon. Upper 40s to right around 50 degrees, but it is a nice day of weather. Dry day tomorrow, but we will have another shot at a few showers on Wednesday. And then I think you're going to like what's coming up as we go into the end of the week. We'll dive into your 7-day forecast in a few minutes.
Can you believe it's been almost a year since COVID-19 shut down the ACC tournament here in Greensboro? Well, a lot has changed since then, including allowing a limited number of fans to attend this year's tournament for both men and women's. Break it all down and what that means coming up after the short break. Stick around. Clear.
Empty stands, no more. Can we just put last year's ACC tournament behind us? This week, Tourneytown is welcoming back fans for the women's tournament. WFMY News 2's Luke Liddon saw what the Greensboro Coliseum is doing to get ready for a much different experience.
Yeah, Chad, let's just put last year's tournament way, way behind us and never think about it again. Still surreal to think that it's been almost a year to the day since COVID-19 shut down last year's ACC tournament. And this year's Tourneytown will look and sound a lot more different, a little more quiet, although we still will have a limited amount of fans to be able to attend this year's women's and men's tournament, although the exact number of how many fans will be able to come inside the Coliseum is still being discussed, with the final answer hopefully coming this Thursday. And we saw cleaning crews here inside the Coliseum put their finishing touches all around the arena. Clearly, cleanliness and safety is the #1 priority like never before. And as you'd expect, there was a lot of thought put into making this tournament with fans happen.
With review by Guilford County Health Department and the state of North Carolina. So this isn't something we just came up with. It was reviewed and reviewed and reviewed by those agencies to make sure that plan would be applicable and follow the guidelines that they have under the state mandates.
Crazy to think we're talking the ACC tournament with fans here in the original tourney town inside the Greensboro Coliseum. Tickets are now on sale, so you can head on over to our website, WFMYnews2.com, for all those details to snag your tickets for both the women's and upcoming men's tournament, with the tournament play starting this coming Wednesday. So we got a lot to look forward to in the next couple of weeks right here inside the Greensboro Coliseum. But for now, we'll see you after the short break. Stick around.
I'm going to use TX1. Cool. I'm going to call Dwayne right now. Awesome. Thanks. Oh, that's great. You can just count me 3 total. Yeah, thanks. Uh-oh. Close that out. All right, he picked up. Here comes his video. No, I'm gonna cut ties with it. Oh, sorry, I thought you heard me. Yeah, I said I'm just gonna cut ties with it.
You know, until I heard this stat today, I don't think I realized this. Salem College has been around for 250 years. It's amazing. You know, they have a new program that they're putting out there, a couple of new majors that really are focusing on how to prepare women in the future to excel in leadership roles, particularly in healthcare. I spoke with Lucy Rose of Salem College to get all the details.
Lucy, this this is perfect timing, what you guys are doing. I mean, with all of the inclusion, diversity, and really empowerment that we've been focusing on as a country lately, this falls right in line. Kind of tell me a little bit about this program.
You know, Salem's actually been around for 250 years. We've been educating women and preparing them to lead and shatter expectations and, you know, really handle the challenges of the day for that long. So what we're actually doing right now is focusing that legacy on creating the nation's only liberal arts college that focuses entirely on developing women to lead in the fields of health. And that health area is broadly defined by us, so it's not just medicine and research as one might think with health care, but it's really defined much more broadly than that to include things like health communications, pre-law for health, policy, advocacy, all kinds of other arenas that health embraces in the entire health ecosystem.
It's interesting because you bring up a point that, I mean, in some ways, Salem's been doing this since before the country was really focused on these issues. But talk a little bit about why healthcare, how did that become the focus?
Do you know, it's funny, Eric, it feels to some people, my guess is that we probably are reacting to the pandemic. And that's just not true. We actually went through a very deliberate, thought process and research process to come up with health as our focus. And we did it for several reasons. One, because it's what young women of today want. They want to make an impact on this world in their own way, and they also want to do it, according to all the research, through a lens of health. So we customized this program really based on need and the fact that 30% of our graduates are already in the healthcare area, and in fact 89% of them who want to. We are able to get into programs that are involved in the health-related fields.
It's a great initiative. I think you guys are hitting the nail right on the head. Thank you for talking with us today.
It is pretty amazing when she throws out those numbers of what percentage of Salem College graduates are already working in the healthcare field. So they kind of have a leg up in that realm. But it's, as she said, this is just good timing. They didn't do it because of the pandemic. They didn't do it because of the social awareness we've been going through over the last year. It just is the way it all worked out.
Yeah, I actually got to spend a summer at Salem College for governor's school at Chilton. I know we had that in common, but it really is a great campus. And what an appropriate story to do on the first day of Women's History Month.
Yes.
So there are two things I love about this story. One is that Salem College is so cool. Like, I just wish I could walk around it. You can't right now, I imagine. But I mean, it's just so neat to see all of the old buildings, and just that whole area of Winston-Salem is pretty neat. But I love that this gives an opportunity to young girls growing up saying, I want to be in the healthcare field. Well, where do you go? Well, there's no place better than Salem College, because they're so focused on it.
Yeah.
And the history, by the way, Chad hit the nail on the head with that. The history of just the architecture and the structures in there. Sometime you need to, Chad, to go in there and just kind of read about the history, because, this is something that, technically predates the United States.
Right? It's wild to think about that. It was literally here before we were a country.
It's crazy.
All right. Well, we're on Facebook. So are you on Facebook? Come say hello. And before we do that, I thought we were going to commercial break. We're not. We're going to Christian Morgan first. Sorry.
Better than a commercial break.
Still kind of
I'd like to think I'm at least more entertaining sometimes. Kind of an interesting day of weather across the Piedmont. Started with rain this morning, but then, of course, we've dried out for the most part this afternoon. We still are holding on to those clouds. It's not a great looking day of weather, and it's going to take a little while, but eventually these clouds are going to clear for the most part, though. Like I mentioned, I think we're pretty much done with our rain. It's been a windy day of weather, especially early on this morning. We did have some 20 to 30 mile per hour gust, a 30 mile per hour gust at PTI, and a 28 mile per hour gust over in Winston-Salem as well. Now, if we look at the wind map, you can see, at least in our southern and eastern counties, the wind is still coming out of the southwest. But back to our northwestern counties, we're starting to see that wind shift as the front crosses us. That means that cooler, drier air is starting to move in from the northwest. And you can see that pretty evident on a dew point map. Drier air, 30s and 40s for dew points back to the west, still 50s and 60s for dew points to our east and down to the south. But that front is working its way across the Piedmont, and you can see some of that cooler air starting to spill in. Lower 50s in the foothills. We're still in the mid and upper 50s here in the Triad, but that will be changing as we go into tonight. As the cold front slides by us, high pressure starts to build in, and that brings in that cooler air. We've been pretty warm the last couple nights, but we are going to drop back into the 30s tonight as those skies start to clear. It'll be a partly cloudy sky tonight with temperatures in the mid 30s. We're dry tomorrow, but by the time we get to Wednesday, we're going to keep close eyes on another area of low pressure moving our way from the south. A lot of our computer models want to keep this down to the south, which means we would stay dry on Wednesday. I still think that there's a good chance we could have at least a few showers on Wednesday morning and then drying out for Wednesday afternoon and Wednesday evening. Tonight, we'll see those clouds slowly clear. Temperatures drop back to right around 34 degrees, so it is a cold night of weather, and you will need a jacket heading out the door for your Tuesday. But we do bring the sunshine back. It will never be a completely clear and sunny day, but we will have some sun mixed with some clouds, and it'll be a nice looking day of weather. Temperatures will top out right around 50 degrees, if not a degree or two above. So it's a much cooler day of weather than we've had the last few days. But it is dry. Another low-end chance for some rain there on Wednesday. We're going to watch that system closely, but then I think you're going to like what's coming up as we go into the end of the week and into the weekend. The sunshine comes back for Thursday. We're near 60 again. For your Friday, temperatures dropping back into the mid-30s for those overnight lows, and then we'll be in the mid-50s on Friday. Still some questions whether or not we get any rain or any moisture into the Piedmont on Saturday, but for now, it looks like Saturday and Sunday are going to stay mostly dry. We've kind of been in this unsettled weather pattern for the last few days, but we are going to be heading into a much drier weather padding into the end of the week and into the weekend, and that will be a very much welcomed sight to see. We'll have more of your 4 to 5 coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, I am talking about how to project your voice and why it's important and how you can make a connection. Sure thing.
Hey there, Blanca. How are you? It's Chad.
Good. Hey, Chad. Is it with you today?
No, it's not with me today. It's with Maddie, but I just haven't heard your voice address my voice in so long that I just wanted to say hello.
Well, I'm glad you did. Thank you so much. How are you doing? Good?
I'm great, yeah. We're just on the Facebook live stream right now, so if anybody wants to say hello to Blanca, now's the time to do it. So how have you been? How's life? What's new?
Life is all right, and nothing new, unfortunately.
I enjoy when you do these segments because I love that picture behind you.
Oh, thank you. Yes, thank you so much. And I do love all the segments.
When was
so much to talk about?
I know, right? When was the last time you were in this building?
Oh, last March, I believe.
Really?
Yes, I think it's been not quite a year, but almost. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's really crazy. And you know, there are a lot of other people who haven't been in the building either. And it's strange to look at their desks, their cubicle where they haven't been. Like Marissa, we talked about this a few months ago, but Marissa has a tear-off calendar at her desk, and every day you tear the sheets off for a different day, and her calendar is forever set to March 13th of last year, Friday the 13th, because it was the last day she was here, and no one has had the heart to touch it. You know, you just got to leave it. It's like a relic now. Like, we got to put this in a museum.
All right, agree apostle.
Yeah,
yes.
it's just pretty crazy. Well, it's good to talk with you. You guys are coming up here in your segment,
you too.
But hope you're doing well and hope to see you soon.
Me too. See ya, Chad.
See ya.
Welcome back to your 4 to 5. There is a new social media app called Clubhouse that is taking iPhone users by storm. So right now it is only available for iOS users. Clubhouse stands out because it's an audio-only platform. That means no pictures, no videos. And on Clubhouse, you can talk to people all across the globe. So Blanca Cobb and I are talking about it today. Let's get right to it. Without video, you can't see each other. You can only hear someone's voice. So how do you connect to other people, Blanca?
Voice is about emotion, excitement, fear, surprise, happiness, sadness. So when you can hear somebody's voice, then it allows you to be empathetic. So if you get a sense that somebody's feeling down, you can provide support. If you can hear the happiness in their voice, what can you do? You can join in that celebration. It's all about emotion in the voice.
And you say it's not just about talking that makes a connection. You have to use your voice to do that. What do you mean, Blanca?
You heard what I just did? So it's the ums and the ahs. All of that really makes a connection. And then also the pitch and tone of your voice also. It's what we call paralanguage. And then you can use pause or silence. Like you say something and you want someone to think about it, you can just pause for a second and just let it marinate before you continue talking. And also you can whisper.
You know, I think that now more than ever, we are communicating not in person, but on apps like Clubhouse or Zoom or even on the phone or on FaceTime. So what are your tips there, Blanca, to making those connections when you're not face to face?
Well, if you're actually talking on your phone, you want to talk with your chin up and you want to project out. Because if you're talking down, you're crunching your chin to your chest and you can sound very muffled and unclear. So you definitely don't want to do that. And then, you know, when you get really comfortable, let's say you just cozy up on your couch and you have this laid back feeling, well, you can actually sound laid back and that enthusiasm can be gone in your voice. So sometimes I tell people, you know, you can walk around and that will put more energy, not only in your body, but in your voice.
I imagine that is helpful not just in making new connections on this app, but also making first impressions, maybe on job interviews. People are doing those over the phone and Zoom these days.
Absolutely.
All right, Blanca, awesome tips. I'm excited to check out Clubhouse. Are you on there? What is it?
I
like it?
I've been on it for the past 2 months. It's so much fun because I'm connecting with people all over the world. Look, you can wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning because you can't sleep. Guess what? Someone's on Clubhouse talking.
Oh, that is the last thing I need. I'm waking up at all hours of the night. If I start talking to somebody, I'm never sleeping. Blanca, thank you so much. Awesome tips again. You can find them all on our website. The 4 to 5 will be right back, but we are chatting with you on our Facebook page. We'd love to see you there.
Hello, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie. They forever go together like a classic combination.
Welcome back to your 4 to 5, ready to have some fun today. I'm Eric Chilton alongside Maddie Gardner, Chad Silver. We've got Christian Morgan and Jalen Gilkey all here today.
It is the first day of a new month, and I love when the first day of a new month starts on a Monday. It really makes it feel like a new beginning.
And honestly, I thought that maybe you wore this dress in honor of the St. Patrick's Day month that we're entering.
It was on my list for the week. However, I did choose green because it's officially March, and I need to space out the time between wearing green.
Yeah.
So today and then St. Patrick's.
Judging by that answer, she hadn't even thought about St. Patrick's Day yet, Chad.
You know,
Yeah.
so hey, think of it this way though. So he didn't do well in the 4 o'clock, and so they sent him back to where Jalen was and brought him out here, right? They just switched it up.
Is that what happened?
I don't even have a comment.
Is this time out? Is this time out in here? Is that what
That's
this is?
that's the timeout box. You're in the penalty box.
All right, well, we've got a lot of news to get to today, and we're going to start with some news regarding the coronavirus. You might have seen something on social media about people getting COVID-19 after getting both doses of the vaccine. Now, we know the vaccines aren't 100% effective at fighting coronavirus, but we had our Verify team look into the posts.
There have been hundreds of headlines from Oregon to San Diego talking about fully vaccinated people who still get COVID-19. That's led to comments like these that question if the vaccine works. So let's verify. Are people who've been fully vaccinated still getting COVID-19? And does that mean the vaccines are ineffective? Our sources are the CDC, the Oregon Public Health Division, and Dr. Daniel Salmon, a professor at Johns Hopkins with specialties in epidemiology and vaccine safety. Oregon health officials report at least 4 cases of fully vaccinated people contracting COVID-19, and at least 1 case was confirmed in San Diego. So yes, these reports are true. But what does that actually mean? Well, Dr. Salmon says it's actually pretty expected.
It happens all the time with vaccines. It especially happens when you have very high coverage.
Basically, while the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines are roughly 95% effective, they're not perfect. Some people will still get sick after the vaccine, but the context of those cases is key. Oregon has reported 4 cases, but that's out of more than 270,000 people they've fully vaccinated. That's 0.001% of cases.
When you look at the actual rate where you include the denominator, you see that your risk was much lower if you were vaccinated. But no vaccine is 100% effective, and no vaccine ever will be. I mean, 95 is really good.
Bottom line, yes, there are cases of people who are fully vaccinated getting COVID, but they're expected and rare. And any claims that this is proof the vaccines don't work are false. With To Verify, I'm Jason Puckett.
There's more good news for North Carolina on the vaccine front. Our state is expected to get more than 80,000 doses of Johnson & Johnson's vaccine, and they're expected to arrive throughout the week starting Wednesday. Like the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines, the Johnson & Johnson shot protects against virus-related hospitalizations and death. There are possible side effects with Johnson & Johnson's vaccine, including a sore arm, fever, headache, and feeling tired.
Well, so far, nearly 20 million Americans have gotten both doses of the COVID-19 vaccine, but research is showing that about 40% of the public still hasn't made a decision yet whether they want to get the vaccine or not. Only 60% of the population feels confident enough that they have enough information to make that decision. The Ad Council and the COVID Collaborative, they're launching a new campaign called It's Up to You in order to help educate Americans about the vaccine safety.
COVID-19 vaccines are one of the most important tools we have to bring this pandemic to an end. Vaccination is really the best way to get to what we call herd immunity.
So experts hope the public gets the message and then steps up to get the shot when it's their turn. If you need more information about the vaccine, just visit getvaccineanswers.org.
All right, it's a brand new month, a fresh new slate to start on in the weather world, but real quick, I want to take a look back at February and show you how we stacked up. Notice all of these blue squares? Those are days with below normal temperature. There were 19 of those in February, only 6. The red squares you see were days above normal. And of course, we ended the month yesterday on a pretty high note, 71 degrees. So we'll see how March stacks up. But it's starting off cool and it's starting off cloudy. This is what it looks like across High Point this evening. You can see the sun is trying to break through just before sunset. I just don't think it's going to be successful tonight. We're heading for a partly cloudy night. The clouds will slowly clear out heading into your Tuesday. Temperature wise, we're in the mid 50s right now. And in fact, these temperatures have been dropping as we've gone throughout the day. It's kind of been a backward day of weather in the temperature department. In fact, we actually hit our high temperature overnight while you were sleeping. And then when the rain started to arrive right around daybreak, that's when our temperatures dropped back and where they have stayed into the upper 50s. But we are starting to cool it back down. Not only are we losing daylight as we go towards the evening hours, but also we're seeing a wind shift. As that front slides by, our winds are now coming out of the northwest. That's drier and cooler air starting to build in heading into your Tuesday. Of course, we're pretty much done with the rain for the rest of the evening. A few sprinkles on the radar, but that will be about it. As we go through in time, notice I said the clouds will slowly but surely clear out. I just don't think it's going to be a bright, sunshiny day for your Tuesday, but absolutely, there will be more sunshine to go around. Cold night of weather on tap, too, as that northwest wind brings in the colder air. We'll drop back into the mid-30s for overnight lows. Heading into your Tuesday, yes, we do bring the sunshine back, but it is a cooler day of weather. Afternoon highs topping out in the upper 40s to right around 50. The clouds will start to increase late tomorrow night because we will have another chance at some rain and maybe something else early Wednesday morning. We'll dive into those details coming up.
Did you hear that? Maybe something else? You can't just leave us hanging like that. Well, anyway, here's your 4 to 5 roundup. Tiger Woods is back on social media. Yesterday, he tweeted saying it was touching to see fellow golfers pay tribute to him by wearing his signature red and black outfit during yesterday's final round. He wrote, "To every golfer and every fan, you are truly helping me get through this tough time." As you remember, Woods was seriously injured in a rollover crash last week and has significant leg injuries. Britain's Prince Philip was moved to another London hospital today for heart treatment. Doctors will run tests for a pre-existing heart condition and continue to treat him for an infection. It's been nearly 2 weeks since Queen Elizabeth's husband was first admitted to the hospital for an illness not related to COVID-19. Former President Trump gave his first public speech since leaving office yesterday at the Conservative Political Action Conference in Orlando. He laid out his vision for the Republican Party, called for states to pass new election laws, teased a possible 2024 run, and criticized President Biden's first month in office. The conference also included the former president and others discussing unsubstantiated claims of election fraud.
10 cars crunched and crashed on I-73 early this morning in Asheboro. Highway Patrol troopers say a tractor trailer making a lane change hit a car in another lane, and that just started all of it. Of the 10 cars, only one person was injured. You know, when something like that kind of happens, I always ask myself, would my car have protected me?
Right, and it's funny that you say that, because just last week I stared at my steering wheel where it says, you know, airbag, and thought, would this protect me?
Right, if I got into an accident. So whether it's airbags or how the car is designed to withstand or absorb shock, the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety performs a number of crash tests to determine if a car is safe. This year, a record 90 new vehicles earned a Top Safety Pick or Top Safety Pick Plus award, up from 64 last year. More vehicles made the grade because of auto braking systems and better headlights.
Casting more light down the road for the driver and eliminating that glare for the oncoming drivers.
Hyundai Motor Group, which includes Genesis and Kia, earned 17 awards, the most of any automaker. Mitsubishi was the only manufacturer that did not receive a single award. General Motors earned just 2, one for the Cadillac XT6, the other for the Chevy Equinox. And no pickups won an award last year, but this year the Ram 1500 Crew Cab, in fact, did win an award. So how did your Honda, Subaru, Toyota do? Well, 2 Wants to Know put the entire list online for you to check out. Just look in the 2 Wants to Know section.
It's on the way now, bro. Like me, I'm on the way. Hold on. Let's make sure it goes. Exporting.
There is no denying that the year 2020 was tough for so many of us, but especially businesses. Some closed while others needed to limit customers. And Thomasville One Dance Studio thought it might have to close as well. But WFMY News 2's Jalen Gilkey learned the community rallied around them and even helped them with an expansion.
Well, many of us at home looked at the beginning of 2021 as a fresh start. And for Jenny Hicks and the team at Vision Dance Studio, just a few months ago, they didn't even know if they would make it to 2021.
We had just rezoned this land and from residential to commercial, and it was 2 weeks into the pandemic, and we got denied our loan. But
like many small businesses, 2020 was a tough year for Jenny Hicks and Vision Dance Studio.
Not knowing if we would be able to succeed through the pandemic.
Not only have they succeeded, they've thrived with a lot of help from the community.
With very, very terrified hearts, not knowing how this would work, we continued to build and just fundraise and do the very best we could. And God made a way, and here we are in our new building. It's been a month officially.
Vision offers dance and cheer classes for kids of all ages and ability levels. They moved from a 1,200 square foot facility to a brand new building that offers double the space.
We also have spring floors, and our ceilings are very high, so we're in the cheerleading world. We're able to do a whole lot more as it comes to tumbling and tossing. We had everyone in the community come together to help us. Without everyone's help, there's no way that this would have ever been able to happen.
Well, Vision Dance Studio even added a new program since moving into their new space. They now offer a daddy-daughter dance class, which is all the rage. All the Davidson, and a big shout out to all the Davidson County parents, especially the dads, that were instrumental to their fundraising and construction efforts.
I feel like Eric Chilton needs to take little Drew out there and learn some new dance moves.
It's that time.
You know, I grew
Drew
up
can teach me.
in gyms and studios like this, cheering and dancing. I know how important it is to a community and to young people. So I'm so glad that they were able not only to stay open, but to add to their programs.
I just can't wait to take my niece there. You know, I don't have any daughters, but I'm going to take my niece there. We're going to do the uncle niece dance.
And this is the niece that hasn't even arrived yet, right?
Well, I mean, she'll be here in 2 weeks, so I mean,
so she'll be able to.
I need to make my appointment.
4 weeks.
I need to make my appointment soon here.
You start a new thing, Chad. Leave it up to Chad to come up with something new. Yeah, that would work. I think that would actually work. I'm just happy to hear good news on the business front, because it just gives us even more hope that things are loosening up and we see some light, you know.
I will say, definitely take advantage of your nieces, because mine are just 9 months old, and I've already told my sister, once they're old enough to walk and learn dance moves, I'm using them to become TikTok famous. So just prepare for that.
Will TikTok even be around then?
Yes.
That is the question. Like, it'll be something new, right?
I'm using them to become famous.
Okay,
they're so
we can
cute.
We can leave it open-ended, right?
I'm riding their coattails.
Absolutely. My question for you, Maddie, is have you and Dr. Gardner ever participated in any type of daddy-daughter dance? Because I'm sure that was just the cutest thing. And if so, we need some video.
So my dad and I actually did attempt one time. I was cheering. So you know how when you're co-ed stunting, the man throws the girl up in the air. So we attempted to participate in one of those competitions. And we practiced one time, and Dad, I love you, but you did drop me on my head. And it explains so much.
So that's what happened.
I'm not mad about it. I turned out just fine. But after that, we were like, yeah. No more.
You just like left this wide open for so many comments. So I'm just gonna wrap.
And I heard that we're wrapping.
Yeah,
Yes.
We'll be right back. But leave your comments on Facebook. We'd love to hear.
Please.
I went right off the bat. It was up, and then I was
down.
It's all
good, Dr. Gardner.
Hey, Maddie, do you know how to play disc golf?
Golf is, oh, hi. That's like Frisbee. It was a thing when I was at UNC. A lot of people were in like intramural.
Right, but
Frisbee
were
golf.
you?
I cannot throw any kind of sporting equipment.
Maybe a pom-pom?
You don't really throw those.
You don't ever throw them?
I've never thrown a pom-pom in the air.
What if you won a state championship?
Yeah, I mean, sure.
Just kidding. Well, so there's a special technique when you're throwing a disc golf.
You have to keep it flat, I'd imagine.
There's like a foot technique. It's like
Oh, go
bowling,
ahead.
you know? So you have
can't bowl
to.
either.
This is kind of how it goes.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, a shuffle step.
Yep.
Okay, can I do this in this dress?
Yeah, it looks good.
I like the left foot slide.
Yep.
It's, yeah.
Like that, yeah. So the reason we're doing this is Eric Chilton is going to be talking about some disc golf coming up here after the break. And
Yes.
so I just wanted to see your abilities.
I've never played anything like that.
It is fun.
I think I have to take up another sport. Either tennis or golf is what I'm leaning toward. Something that I can do
Okay.
for a while.
All right.
We'll see.
I can't wait to see what you choose. All right, we've got about 15 seconds, so we'll see you in a minute.
So, the numbers, of course, they're looking better when it comes to the virus, but all of us keep harping on this, and it is true. Safety is still front and center, and it should be, because we're in the beginnings of some of this loosening up. And that's why the Winston-Salem Dash, they're constantly trying to come up with ways to keep us entertained and to keep it all on the safe side. Their next venture, as Chad mentioned, if you were on Facebook just now, disc golf. It's kind of like Frisbee golf. It's the thing. They're doing it in the stadium in a unique way, too. Here's special events manager Ryan Manuel with the scoop.
Hey Ryan, thanks for being with us today. So first of all, I'm a big fan of Frisbee golf, but the idea of doing it inside such a cool arena is really neat. How did all this come about?
We got a little creative during the year and trying to figure out what we were going to do to keep some activity in the ballpark and kind of stay relevant in the community. And a friend of mine, DJ Heck Yeah, who does a lot of events here for us at the ballpark, came to me. He was doing a lot of Frisbee golf tournaments down in Myrtle Beach, and I said, hey, let's see if we can partner together and do something here at the ballpark. We've got plenty of time and availability to do something like this. So we tried it out in the fall, and it worked very, very well.
So tell us what the setup looks like, because I'm imagining this in my head.
Basically, when you get to the ballpark, you'll come in through our main entrance out by the scoreboard video board and do a check-in registration there. And then we've basically spaced out 9 holes around the concourse, on the field, up in the club level, and you basically will play the non holes, go through twice to play 18 holes. But we've got some crazy ones. We've got ones where you're standing on the dugout and you're throwing up to our club level. You've got ones where you're out and out field and you're throwing down onto the field. We've got one where probably the most popular one is you're standing at second base and you throw one to the basket on home plate.
I love that it's not just on the field. I mean, you guys are all over the place in the park. So what kind of response, because this is kind of naturally social distance, right? We don't have to worry about safety in this environment.
There is no doubt. We've been very smart with how we're setting up our tee times. We're doing it every 10 minutes, and we're keeping the groups pretty small, 6 to 8 people. But bringing them in, and then you're basically on through the next hole, and there's plenty of space.
Lots of room. Ryan, this is awesome. Thanks. We'll see you at the park.
Oh no.
Oh no.
We can't hear you, Chilton.
We're having to read your lips again.
We're reading your lips.
You can't hear me?
There we
okay,
go.
now there you are.
We hear
There you
you
are.
now.
There you are.
Oh, I was going to say, I didn't do anything.
Never give
up. So 2 things you need to know here. One is it's March 18th through the 21st, so you still have time. They want us to make sure everybody knows you don't have to know how to play disc golf to do this. They have the equipment. They'll tell you how to do it. It's for everybody. But the other thing is, in case you were wondering, he did say I contacted DJ Heck Yeah.
That's right.
So I had to Google this, and I literally, while the story was going on, because I didn't understand what he said when I did the interview, then I heard it just now. DJ Heck Yeah has a Facebook page where he says, heck yeah, I am the Camel City Party Rocker,
Yeah.
So I think I've just found my next story.
Okay, so it's funny because you definitely need to interview him. He has played at the first day of school for Guilford County or for Forsyth County. I'm not sure, elementary school, but I remember when I was on the morning show, we had a live reporter out there, Alma McCarty, and she said, DJ Heck Yeah is turning it up out here. And I said, I need to know who this person is. Lucky for the Dash, I won't be around that weekend, or I would show everyone up on the baseball field, because Chad just taught me how to throw a Frisbee during the break on Facebook.
And she did quite well. If we had a Frisbee in hand, then maybe I'd be able to, be a better judge of really how great she did. But,
Right, I don't make enough money to replace any of these monitors with the brokenness that would happen.
Don't feel bad. I can't throw a Frisbee either. I throw it and it goes way off to the left or way off to the right. It's never on target.
So
I could
your
never
golf
play disc
game is better than your froth game?
A little bit.
I'm really not very good at it at all. I just kind of learned from people, and I still am not really that great. But the courses around here are beautiful. There are some really nice courses, and you just kind of get to be out in the fresh air. But I would definitely try out the Dash one. I mean, that sounds awesome.
DJ Heck Yeah.
DJ Heck Yeah. Christian Heck Yeah.
Heck yeah. All right, we're going to see how we do in March. Hopefully, we're going to do better about one thing in the month of March, and that is rainfall. Real quick, let's take a look back at February. There were, that's about half and half, 12 wet days, 13 dry days. But after the first 4 days of the month, you can't find 4 days in a row where it was dry. Yes, it felt like a rainy and gray month. So hopefully we're going to do better in the rain department for the month of March, although it's not starting off very well. Pretty good dose of rain this morning. That is drying out now. There's not a whole lot going on. The radar's kind of fooling you a little bit. This little pocket that you see of rain, it's really mostly just some drizzle and maybe some spotty light rain to our south. Temperature-wise, we're in the 50s now, mid-50s, but temperatures starting to drop as we go throughout the evening hours because we have changed our wind direction. That front is now past us in the Piedmont. We're getting a northwest wind. That's bringing in that colder and drier air. That's setting the stage for a cooler Tuesday. Tomorrow, we will start with partly cloudy skies, and some of those clouds hang around. It will be a cooler day of weather. Temperatures topping out right around 50 degrees. Chance for some more showers on Wednesday, but dry and pretty comfortable for the end of the week and into the weekend. We'll be right back.
Hey, mic check 1 2. We are live here at the Greensboro Coliseum. It is Monday. We are a long, long ways away from.
Hey, mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10.
Hey there, hello. Certainly hope everyone's having a good Monday, okay?
Hi there, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky.
Heck yeah! Heck yeah! Heck yeah!
You know, if you ever take a few minutes and you go through your smartphone pictures, it's amazing what you can find, right? And little nuggets that make you smile, and really it paints a picture of the last however long you're looking back, the last month, the last year. Well, I did it recently, and I just thought, you know, it's the little things and some of the big things, and they're all documented right there on the phone. Look at some of these. I guess on this day, I was very excited that there was some watermelon flavored Mountain Dew. Felt like I had to take a picture of that. How about this one? A Tesla in front of me with a license plate. You know, they're electric vehicles. Gas? Nah, don't need that. And then there are the more sentimental moments that you forget about, but then you see them in your smartphone, like these I love. My little girl, who will turn 8 very soon, and she writes on my desk blotter these little love notes that I don't even see until later. I love you, Dad, best dad in the world, that type of thing. I noticed them on this particular day, and I took pictures of them because those blotter pages, you know, they get ripped off and then it's gone. So now I have that memory. My youngest son, Tyler, is my sports fan with me. He is the one that cares the most about sports. So I found this video of he and I watching the Super Bowl, and we are Panthers and Bucks fans. Boom, out of the park. He was super excited, which just made me smile. Then there are the big things you find, right? How about these two? Never forget these moments. This video of my son Bryce, one of the twins, getting his acceptance letter into Middle Tennessee State University to study sound engineering.
That is crazy.
That was huge. And then this one, Alex was already on the phone with his college advisor before I could even get in there and tell him that he got in to Savannah College of Art and Design, which is where he wants to go. Huge moments, and even the little funny things, all documented right here. So before you get mad at technology, take a moment to appreciate the good things that it brings us as well. But that's just my 2 cents. And that's your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts right now.
Eased COVID restrictions helping drum up more sales for struggling Triad businesses.
Some say they haven't made money like this since before the pandemic.
It is a reason to celebrate, but as WFMY News 2's Grace Holland found out, many business owners are still apprehensive.
Spring brings a chance for rebirth, not just for plants and flowers.
I feel very blessed and fortunate because a lot of restaurants did not make it through.
Open signs welcome customers with fewer coronavirus restrictions in place. The new statewide rules allow restaurants and bars to stay open until 11 p.m. Seafood Destiny in Greensboro will continue to close at 9, but